Taking the Isuzu out for a spin. Wanted to fill it up full of gas before I put it back in the storage unit. Thought I'd put it on YouTube just so that anybody that might be interested in buying it can see what it runs like. I've had it for it would be 18 months. I bought it in January of 22, and most of that time it has been in the storage unit, and I just decided that I would go ahead and part ways with it. But it has been a reliable truck since I've had it. I've had folks take a look at it and do some work to it, primarily just to somebody that had a timing light, because you know those things are a tool that unless you have an old truck, you really don't need a timing light anymore. And I have disposed of mine probably about 20 or 30 years ago. So I had a guy take a look at it and you know, replace the points, plugs, wires, and ultimately just give it a tune-up. I just replaced the fuel filter and fuel pump, and that has made actually more of a difference than what I thought. As you can see, there's the stereo would be down here. I have that. I honestly don't know if it works. I was gonna disconnect this gauge because the gauge up here still functions, but because this has got it's a copper line that runs to the engine, I've got to be able to shut that down before I can get rid of the gauge. And because I don't know if the stereo works, I'm not going to go through the hassle of disconnecting the gauge and then have an inoperable stereo. But the wiring is still there and the connections are there. I just don't know if the stereo itself works. The surround is missing, but I do have the stereo and the mounting hardware for that to go up in here. Any other videos I've showed underneath the hood, and the emissions have been deleted, and some of the other electronic components have been deleted, and that's really the primary reason that I bought this thing, is to not have that stuff on it. As you can see, or maybe you can see, the speedometer does not work, and I've been able to troubleshoot that. And I know it's not the gauge and it's not the cable, because I hooked a drill up to the portion of the cable that attaches to the transmission, and it will cause the speedometer to go up. So I believe that it is the female connection that's inside the transmission. I've looked online, but I just don't want to be sure. I don't want to buy something unless I can be sure that that's going to be the fix for the problem. So, and really, with the way I drive this truck, I really don't care. I'm not going fast enough to break any speed limits. Generally speaking, the stuff inside the cab works. The horn, as it is right here, didn't work, and I was not able to figure out how to break this apart, even though there is information on YouTube on how to do that. I didn't. As difficult as it is to getting problems, or as difficult it is to getting some of the components for the truck, I didn't want to risk breaking this to try to figure out what's wrong with the horn. I found out the horns itself underneath the hood were non-functional. So what I did is I just put a horn there, Turn signals work. They don't shut off automatically when you turn the wheel back to the straight position. You've got to do that manually. That's another reason I was hoping I could get this off so I could better eyeball what's in the steering column here. Wipers work. Dome lights work, stuff like that. Everything else in the truck works okay for a 1986 vehicle. The truck itself is very sound. I did replace the windshield here. I was able to find a new windshield that didn't have any cracks in it, and that was a joy to swap out. But anyway, it's a good running little truck, and if anybody is interested in it, just leave a comment and I will reply to you. I would prefer to sell it, but I would trade it if possibly. If not, it'll just go back to the storage unit and sit for a little while longer. I don't have a burning desire to get rid of it, but I am negotiable on the price. So if you're interested, you can make me an offer and we'll see where that goes. Rubber's on it good, nothing leaks. I've got a fair amount of tread still on the tires, as with the spare. Rims are in good shape. They're all in all, the truck is in very good shape. The body, for being an 86, you can tell that it was never up in the land of salt and snow. The body is phenomenally solid. There's no real rust and a little bit of surface rust, but nothing that really can't be taken off with a wire brush. And I did that with some of it. Anyway, here we go. Thank you very much.